Hey, here's the backstory of how I got a free restoration done on my 1985 Xtra cab. Story time, folks. You guys watch Neutral Drop? You notice they haven't killed an 80s Toyota pickup yet. That's probably because there's like none left in New York that aren't rusted out. So I mentioned this story a few videos back where I went over how much I paid for my truck after all the modifications. And you guys wanted to hear the full version. Well, I worked at an advertising agency in Akron, Ohio for about 13 years. And one of their big clients was Sherwin-Williams and a lot of their umbrella brands. And they have a lot of automotive paint companies. We did some SEMA builds for them over the years, and I was the car guy slash gearhead of the agency. So I was really involved in the builds and usually got to attend SEMA to detail the car in the booth and help set up before the show. If you've never been to SEMA, you don't get it. It's the largest car show in the world. So many over-the-top builds from all the big manufacturers. I have thousands of photos from all the SEMA shows I went to. I should find a way to share them all if you're interested in checking them out. Going to SEMA was without a doubt the coolest part of my job, and I still miss it to this day. So how the SEMA build process worked was, we'd pick out a vehicle, I'd create a rendering, and the client would approve, and my boss would give me a budget and say, get it done. So I got paid to work on cool cars. At first the budgets were small and we just built whatever was donated by a manufacturer. Like one year back in 2006, Toyota gave us a used Toyota Matrix. That was the first year I was really involved in the process and given a budget for parts. It was just wheels, tires, suspension, painted graphics, custom system, and TVs inside. And after SEMA, Toyota got the car back with all the goodies still on it. Then, a couple of years later, they actually bought a 1979 El Camino, and this time it was a full-on restoration. Well, actually it was a full restoration, but only on half of the car. We put a line right down the middle, all the way through the vehicle, and only restored half to show the before and after. We recorded the whole build and shared the videos for this one. We had some tools and extra help, so we did everything ourselves in an old warehouse we rented for the project. Jessie Combs actually hosted that video series, and she was awesome to work with. That whole build was a great time. Rest in peace, Jessie. But the builds got bigger and better over the years, and so did the budget. The agency bought an old warehouse and a bunch of tools for a better place to wrench and paint. And instead of trying to get newer, free vehicles, they were buying older vehicles that needed to be restored. There was a 72 Plymouth Satellite we bought for I think like $5,000 in the middle of winter. It was originally a 318 car, but the seller swapped a 440 big block in it and never had it aligned or anything. All the bushings were shot. It was so sketchy to drive that we couldn't go on the highway. We had to keep it under 35 miles an hour. So we took back roads all the way back to Akron. And I'm driving this thing, my boss is behind me in his SUV because like in case I crash or get pulled over because I'm swerving all over the road. Then it started snowing and there was no heat, so the windshield started to get frost on the inside, so I'm driving with the windows down. We got back toward Akron Fairlawn area and the thing like started stalling in traffic. The carb had never been adjusted, and so I'm just feeling like a total a-hole driving this old hoopty in the middle of winter with the windows down, just making traffic jams. But we get back, almost back to the warehouse, and the brake booster went out about 2 blocks away. So we limped this thing back there and got it there. But the car went under the knife and turned out amazing. They did a video series on that one too. I think that one went to SEMA in 2013. And they still own that car. It sits in their studio. Another year, we restored a coworker's very rusty 1969 International Harvester Scout. And that worked out for everyone because she got a free restoration and the agency didn't have to buy a vehicle. Her grandpa gave it to her and it had sat outside for decades. And once we had towed it to the warehouse and got under it, we saw the frame was rotted away in a few spots. So it turned into a full frame-off restoration. And this thing was rusty underneath. Like, it made some of my Toyota trucks look good. The old Scouts are so bare bones and utilitarian though, pretty simple to work on. They have really nice body lines too. I'd be happy to own one. So the Scout got a frame repair, lots of body work, new floors, replaced part of the bed, fresh paint job in and out. It also had its own video series. Then we put some 31-inch mud tires on it and sent it off to SEMA. Man, it looked so good when it was done. Alright, you're here for my Toyota restoration story. I had to tell those to give you the background of how we got to here. The agency was now restoring employees' vehicles because they don't have to buy it, they don't have to store it, they don't have to figure out what to do with it afterwards. It's a win-win situation for everybody, especially the employee who gets a free restoration out of it. Well, in 2015, they wanted to do a restoration series on restoring 2 old trucks. One of which was going to be my 1985 Toyota Xtra cab. Hell yeah. I put that company credit card to work buying every part I needed to restore my 1985 truck. It was like I won the contest of a lifetime. So I got a rust-free OEM right fender shipped in from California, a new aftermarket hood, some sheet metal to repair the rusty floor and rocker panels, a new antenna, and some bed liner. I already had a rust-free left fender from Parts Truck. Then they wanted to show the wheels being painted. But those OEM alloys, I never really liked how they looked when painted, so they paid for a brand new set of 15-inch Fuel Anza wheels, just for me to scuff them up and paint them bronze and red to match the truck. I swapped over the 15-inch mud tires from my old steel wheels to save some money. All the primer, paint, degreaser, sandpaper, tape, everything paint related was covered. We just went down the street to the Sherwin Automotive store and bought whatever we needed. I mean, after parts and paint, we're talking at least a couple grand, not to mention all the days of paid labor from 9 to 5. It was a lot of work, but an awesome time for sure. They made a video series out of the restoration, but didn't end up using either truck for their SEMA booth that year. So I went from driving a mismatched, beater-looking 85 Toyota pickup to this freshly painted, restored, I got fresh wheels on the thing, all for free. And not to mention, I was an employee at the time, so they paid me salary. So I basically got paid for 2 weeks to restore my own truck. I mean, talk about a once in a lifetime opportunity. There it is. I ended up leaving that job later in 2015, just because I had an hour commute each way and, I had a kid now, had a house to take care of, and, just being gone 10 hours a day, it was tough. So I've been self-employed ever since, and then that's what gave me time to start on YouTube. And the rest is history. So thank you all who subscribe and watch my videos.